Oh, okay. No, that's what it is. You guys couldn't hear me. You should be able to hear me now because I forgot to add myself to the broadcast. I unmuted the mic. First was the mic. So I've literally been talking for about 3 minutes and no one actually heard me. So, yeah. What I meant to do was do this so it stayed black. But anywho, it's okay. Let's do this. Hold on one second here. All right, there we go. Hello, everyone. How y'all doing? A little bit of technical difficulty. It's been a little minute since I had like a lot of like the audio technical difficulties and forgetting how to use StreamYard. Which, by the way, I get questions about that quite often. What do I use to where I'm showing the comments on the screens and I can show my screen and things like that? Others who aspire to do live videos and do teachings. So I used to use OBS. I now use StreamYard. There's also one called Restream. I don't really have a lot of knowledge with that one, but that is another resource where you are able to broadcast to multiple locations. StreamYard does have a free version of StreamYard, but you're limited in how many hours that you can actually go live. And then you have their branding. You can't do your own branding. So we do pay for StreamYard and I absolutely love it. Sometimes it can act a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. The other thing I like about StreamYard is if you're someone that likes to do giveaways, especially while you are live, it has its own giveaway kind of system built in. And there's like it's not quite a spinner, but it's like it kind of just filters through and you tell people what to write and it picks up on those entries. So I really, really do love StreamYard. So if you're interested in doing live videos and teaching in this manner, consider StreamYard. And I will post a link if you want to just kind of like check out StreamYard and all that stuff. But that is what I use. All right. But I was having some technical difficulties because I have a microphone that's an Elgato one and it has a little button on the top and I didn't realize I hit it. And I was muted. So I undid that because it gives you like a little red light. And I'm like, and then I saw someone says, we can't hear you still. And I'm like, oh, wait, I wasn't in the broadcast. So there's a couple of things you got to learn to keep yourself in and make sure people can hear you. But hey, we are here now. It is now officially afternoon here on the East Coast, but I was saying, I couldn't find my other thumbnail. So I ended up doing the morning wake up call. I used to use that one. I used to do like early morning ones, like 9 a.m. So I went live at 11:55. So technically it was still the AM here on the East Coast, but it's now afternoon, but it's still AM on Central Mountain and Pacific Standard Time. It's still morning, so it still applies. So incredible greetings, everyone. Incredible morning. Again, I'm Shakira, the professor of HSINK365. We are the home of the Honesty Speaking brand of products. We carry the absolute best sublimation ink and paper. We also have pigment ink with our sublimation paper. That's our feature product because we challenged the norm for what most know is sublimation. And with our paper, you can sublimate as low as 365 degrees, as fast as 30 seconds. So you can get it done quicker, faster, more efficient, saving on time and energy. So yeah, definitely check out our website, shop.hsink365.com. Really easy to remember. So like Honesty Speaking, so that's just HS, we sell ink, INK, and 365. We're all about branding around here. So really easy to remember. Head over to the website. And we also are the home of 365 Creative Academy. See how we did that there? And it's built into, the whole brand thing. We used to be Sillaholics Anonymous Academy, but hey, we are our own brand now. So 365 Creative Academy is where we help you to unlock your creativity in a wide variety of different classes and trainings, whether it's with Silhouette Studio, Photoshop and things of that nature. We have some business things. We've done some actual projects, which we have a lot of stuff going on for the summer. We got a whole summer school. I'm going to tell y'all more about it, but we're here to help you guys. But I'm going to tell you more about the summer school if you are interested in signing up for the summer school. Okay. Ooh, hold on. Let's get rid of this over here. I am doing something that I really don't like to do. But for algorithm purposes, I got to kind of give in. So I have to call it a craft business only because of characters on TikTok. So it just says, have a craft business question, ask me. Anywho, so I had to do that. But yeah, 365 Creative Academy, teach all these different things. And I am, like I said, well-versed, sublimation, ego solvent, DTF, designing, business, all those kind of good things. So feel free, if there's a design you're trying to figure out, you're stuck on it, now is a great time to ask those questions. All right. So let's go over here to the comment section and see who's on with us this morning or this afternoon, depending on where you're watching from. Hello, incredible greetings, incredible greetings. You're up when it's up and it's up, whatever that song says. Although I do love Miss Cardi B. Hello. Let's see. It is 5 p.m. in the UK. Hi, Deb. How art thou? Hello. Thank you for checking in from Dayton, Texas. Thank you for the peacocks, Aquisha. Hello. Incredible greetings. Hey, just saying. Thank you. Hola. Hey. Incredible afternoon. Valerie says, hello, Professor. Everyone checking in from Virginia. It's been a while for me. Ooh, we went on vacation, so we are now relaxed and refreshed. Awesome. We're going to go towards the end of the summer because the kids are in summer camp now. So towards the end of the summer, we'll end up going somewhere on vacation and taking a little trip. So yeah, hello. Thank you for joining in from Texas. Hello, Douglas, Georgia. How art thou? Okay. Hello to everyone here over on TikTok as well. As you guys can see, this is our weekly Q&A and help session. So if you have a question and you are in the creative space and you are trying to build a business or just have some extra pocket change, a little mad money, a little side hustle, I am here to help. So feel free to drop your questions, okay? Let's see. Can you use Silhouette Studio with a Cricut machine? No, technically. So you won't be able to design in Silhouette Studio and send it directly to a Cricut machine. However, you can design in Silhouette Studio and save it as an SVG. Whether you have the free version or if you have business edition, because there is a way to do it if you have the free version by saving it as a Silhouette file first. And then there is a website, a third-party application that will convert that file from a Silhouette file into an SVG file. It just cannot have any pixelated, like pixel type images. So no JPEGs, no PNGs, which means like no backgrounds, even from your patterns and things like that. It has to be vector. SVG stands for scalable vector graphics. So it has to be just text or shapes, and you can trace something and fill it with color and save that as an SVG. But it just cannot have anything that has any type of picture that's made up of pixels. But so you can do that the same way that if you buy a file from Etsy or you buy a file from even what's inside Cricut, like their design store or whatever it is, it's the same thing. Someone designed it in a different software and they are making it available to you. So that's how you can do that. I have a lot of students who learn to design in Silhouette Studio from me, but they are actually Cricut machine owners. I personally have 6 Cameo machines. Let's see. Hey, I'm in Photoshop working on a design. It has a paint splatter background and wanting to elevate it more with extra design elements. Any tips? So is it something that is already flattened and you can't really adjust it, or is it in layers? I don't really know like what type of design you're going for. I'm really not that big on a lot of paint splatters and busy backgrounds. Everyone has their design style. And for me, I'm just really not. So there would be the limitation from, I'm not going to say I don't ever use it. And I've shown like how to incorporate it for different things, but I'm really not big on feeling like you have to have a lot of that stuff in the background to make a design stand out. Sometimes it's just a matter of choosing the right font to convey the message that you want the shirt or the tumbler or the mug or whatever it is to say. But I have to kind of have, you said, elevated with more design elements. I don't even know what the theme is. What is it a Father's Day shirt? Is it a graduation shirt? Is it a birthday shirt? Is it a business shirt? Is it a Juneteenth shirt? Is it a 4th of July shirt? Is it a Christmas shirt? I don't really know what it is that you're making, so I can't really give any tips as far as design elements. Graduation orders almost took me out. I'm so glad I have completed them all. Relaxation time. My sentiments exactly. I was glad when grad season was over and done with. Okay. Hey, Ashley, how are you? I'm actually going to be working on your design today. My hero with the amount of silhouette machines, I just got my 4th today. Yeah. So if I could, I would have a few more because I mean, of course, you cannot go into the store and buy them. I really wish I would have gotten more of them when they were brand new, but because I had 3 originals at the time, I did not like jump on. I'm like, oh, it's not really a lot, like a big difference. But the 2 really was the best machine that they created. So I'm always on the hunt for a Cameo 2. So if it was up to me, like I would literally have all Cameo 2s. So nope, each element is in a layer. I've added a stroke and some shadows, but I'm up for trying something else. Maybe it's a font change. It's for Vacation Bible School. They are going for bright and it's an exercise theme. Yeah, I mean, without me really seeing it, it is really hard to say, okay, like what elements. I'm very simplistic. I'm very simplistic when it comes to like designing. Hold on, let me see. So like when I made this one for like grad season, like I mean, it was just about like the fonts, the outline. Okay, her picture was there. Like I'm a real simple kind of gal when it comes to designing. I mean, I don't really have a lot of my things kind of here, but like, see, I kept it real simple. Like here's a shirt. I think the only reason why I had like a background on this is because it's the background of the, the characters. But I don't really, so some people will have this, right? And then they're going to have like splashes and splatters like behind it. I'm not really, kind of that kind of designer. I mean, do you have, if it's exercise, is it that you want it to have elements of like dumbbells or kettlebells or jump ropes? The type of fonts you choose really does make a difference. If it's exercise, I mean, you want something that is high energy, so you don't want anything that's going to be like really thin letters. So try and find bolder fonts that like just like kind of like energized fonts. You don't have to use fonts that are well, also, I really don't even know how you're going to utilize it. Like, are you doing DTF? Are you doing sublimation? What type of print process is going to be, because that also makes a big difference in how detailed the design is or how detailed the font is. Professor, is there a way to calibrate the Cameo 2 machine? Recently, I'm printing using Silhouette Mats. The size is 11 by 5. I flipped the design on the software and then says print as is. When it prints out, it goes off the page. This happens with both vinyl and rhinestones. Okay, so here lies the issue with allowing the machine to flip it for you. And if it's asking as so what you said, you said print as is, so you are manually flipping it in the software. All right, without me seeing your screen, I really don't know. Like, so I can tell you what the possible things are, which are very small. And sometimes people forget that they have not done this one step. It's happened to me and the print was way off. Do you have, especially with the newer software, like 4.3, 4.4, 4.5, it has a little thing at the top where it'll say like machine none, or like which machine you are using, right? So make sure, of course, that says whatever machine it is. Make sure that your mat, it doesn't say none for the mat, because if you are loading it and you're using it on a mat, but you have the design page set up for no mat, it is going to cut off because it's not going to account for the edging of the mat. So make sure that you do have a mat, like one of the mats selected. Make sure that your machine is, set to one of the machines, and make sure you're mat, and then just make sure the size. Calibration has nothing to do with a regular cut. Calibration has nothing to do with regular cuts. Calibrating your machine is simply for printing cuts, and that's it. And it sounds like you're doing a regular cut, so that just wouldn't be a fix for you to even worry about trying to calibrate it. This is a DTF print. So this is not something that I do in-house. You have some people that's doing like the little hack. I don't teach hacks, but this is basically a DTF print. It's internet is starting to get sick and tired of my computer right now. But it's combined DTG, which is direct to garment, and it's like one of the only printers where there's actually a white ink. It's opaque and you can print to dark garments, because all ink, I don't care what, sublimation, eco solvent, DTG, DTF, cyan, magenta, yellow, they are all translucent. Like they're not opaque at all. The white ink is what brings that in. And then you have screen print transfers. That's a different type of ink because it's not like liquid ink. So their inks, they actually have a little bit of translucency to it, because if you're doing a dark shirt, you have to put a white underbase on it to really make it pop, because some of those colors will come through. But that's neither here nor there. Sorry, I geek out about these things. Sorry, y'all. But they started making screen print transfers where they were putting adhesion powder on the back and then curing it, and it allows you to have transfers. You can have as many as you want, as many as you need. You don't have to like automatically put a design on a shirt and then maybe you don't sell it. And with this, you don't have to like pre-treat, because with DTG, you have to pre-treat. This, you don't have to. So it combines kind of like those two different thought processes. So they print it with the colors first, and then the white goes down. And then whether you have an automatic shaker or you can apply the powder yourself and just kind of, go back and forth, they apply the powder on it, and then you have to heat set the powder to cure it. And then they always say it looks kind of like an orange peel. And once you do that, this is ready to be pressed to a garment, a bag. I'll show you this one. But where is the transfer for this one? Where is the transfer? So you can see what it looks like on the transfer and then on the bag. I don't see this transfer though. Wherefore art thou transfer? Oh, here it is. So this is what this one looks like on here, okay? And then it was pressed to a drawstring bag. So you can put it on a lot of different things. So that's how that is set up. So that's called DTF, direct to film. Let's see. I can't get my Bluetooth to work anymore on my Cameo Plus. That has not worked in a long time. Yeah, like that type of inner working of it, Bluetooth working can't really help you on that front. Hello, my love. can't be posting stuff and then, not expect folks to call. Do I have a class on DTFs? So there will be some DTF in our summer camp. We're going to talk about it because it's, as far as like doing the design, if you've done sublimation and you've designed for sublimation, you've designed for DTF. It's just a different printing process. I don't print in-house. So I send my prints off. I outsource. Once you become more knowledgeable in business, you understand that you don't have to do everything yourself. The crafter mindset tells you, I want to do it myself. I want to have all the equipment. Not I said the cat, dog, or the frog. Like, I'm gonna let them people have it for now. Maybe in the future, I'll probably, if I have space and the workload, requires it, but I outsource it. So one of the things that is a big issue is people designing and getting it saved properly and then setting up their gang sheets. So I will be talking about that and going over that in the summer camp. We're going to go through a lot of different things, and it's going to be a lot of knowledge within those 5 weeks. And then I'm going to have some videos just on my Ink Zone YouTube channel. At some point, I will get that off the ground and we'll talk more about it. But there's no real like major class for that because I've taught you, when it comes to designing. If I'm teaching you design, 9 times out of 10, you can use it for any type of print method. So just make sure that you join the design classes. And unless you have a printer, you don't really have to worry about anything when it comes to DTF. Just design it, submit it. You're going to get your prints and you're going to press it. That's it. What model printer do I have? I don't print DTF in-house. I print sublimation in-house. I have a Roland BN20 to do eco-solvent prints in-house. I have regular printers, but I don't do DTF at all. I outsource that. Oh, you're going to need that so when I do the design, you're going to need some for the bags. Yeah, gotcha. Let's see. I had some prints ordered and I removed my line color in my design. But when I received my prints that all had a white outline, I did save the file as transparent, but not sure what I did wrong. I would not know unless I can actually see the file. So did you remove it or did you make that outline white? 2 different things. So unless I can actually see if you design it in Silhouette Studio, unless I can see the Silhouette file to see exactly how it was when you submit it, and you saved it as a PNG file, I wouldn't know. But the only thing that would make it to where it would have a line color is a line color was there. And you don't have to have it saved as a point size. So if you're printing directly from Silhouette Studio, if you have a line color and the point size is 0, it won't print. But if you are saving it as a PDF or a PNG, that line will show up. I've made an SVG and it cuts out fine on my Cameo. So then it should cut out on Cricut and other cutting machines. Good. You're asked a question. So, because you said then it should cut out. Yes. So yes, it should cut out on any machine. Now, the only thing is like, depending on how you set it up, if you did it as like, let's say you had like score lines, or you had like perforated lines, in Cricut Design Space, those don't pick up. So you have to basically convert those dashed lines by using detached line. So it's little things like that. And then just make sure if you have any script or you have anything that is connected, make sure that it is welded together, whether you do it in Silhouette Studio or if you do it in Design Space once it kind of all comes in. But for the most part, yes, it should cut correctly. There have been some instances where I designed something in Silhouette Studio, and by the time I opened up that saved SVG in Cricut Design Space, things were slightly moved around. So just make sure that you do make whatever needs to be welded in Silhouette Studio. Make sure whatever needs to be a compound path is a compound path. Grouping, and even when it's grouped, it still kind of looks funky. But other than that, it should cut the same way. I gang in Photoshop. Do you recommend anywhere else to build a gang sheet? I build mine in Silhouette Studio. So I set, like for me, because that is my primary design software, I literally set everything up in Silhouette Studio. Now, I do have to use Photoshop because most of these places refuse to take a PDF, which they just have to open up. So I'm not sure if they're going straight from the PNG that you send and they're just putting it in their RIP software, but they require a PNG. And so from what I told, like, that's the file format that those RIP softwares take. So I set everything up. I save it as a PDF. I open up that PDF in in Photoshop, and it's literally 2 clicks. As soon as I bring it in, I export it as a PNG so that it saves and I can send it to them. So it just depends. But yeah, I like to have exact sizing. I just kind of know, and it's a little bit easier to align things like right to the edges for me. I know Photoshop, but it's still a lot easier for me in Silhouette Studio. So if I designed it there, that's what I'm setting my gang sheets up at. But people have said they have set them up in Photoshop. They've set them up in Affinity Designer and Photo. And some people say they have set their gang sheets up in Canva. But Silhouette Studio and Photoshop are my programs of choice. I've had that issue with DTF prints. Yeah, was it like just a slight outline? If that's the case, and was it around the whole thing? Was it off to one side? Because I have actually had that happen in some prints, and it's just that their white layer is off in how it's printed out. Now, if it's like, is it like a thick line? Is it going all the way? So, I mean, it just might be the company that you got those particular DTF prints from and whether or not they've worked out their alignment. There's a section that says constraining media to cutting mat. Should I have that checked? No, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, but I don't recommend having it because then you're constraining it to the media. You can't do anything else. And I design all over the place. There's also a chance that the setup of the DTF printer didn't have the white haha, there you go. And that can cause a slight white outline. And see, I just talked about that. Can you do sublimation prints on that drawstring bag? No, because that is black. You cannot sublimate to black at all. Your video helped me yesterday. I'm definitely a procrastinator, and today I'm working with my timer to get these orders out. Yes, I love it when you guys come back and let me know that my words of advice, although some said they are harsh, are very helpful. I'm a procrastinator. So I know one of the things I learned from a good friend of mine is to try block. And every once in a while, at least once a quarter, I do attempt to be very, very diligent with trying a block schedule. And if I know I have a lot of things to do and I have a little bit of time to do it, I mean, I have like, some time that I can do it over the course of a couple of days. I will do what's called block scheduling. And let's say, okay, I'll work on designing. So however many designs I can get done in an hour and a half. If it's, if I had to do 5 designs, but in that hour and a half, I got through 2.5 and I wasn't quite finished. As long as I'm at like a good stopping point, I'll stop that and I'll move on to the next thing. Like then I'll work a little bit on marketing. I'll work a little bit on like answering email, so creating a schedule and being okay with this is a hard cutoff time. If I'm not done with whatever it is I'm supposed to be doing during this time frame, I'm done and I need to move on to the next. So I try that like literally every quarter. When it gets kind of hectic, I do try the block scheduling because if not, it won't get done. I have about 100 plus shirts to go using Sublimation. You had a big order for Sublimation. That's amazing. You said 100 plus more to go. So, whoa. Oh, look, I just saw one of my DTF people. I don't know if she's commenting on this post that's posted somewhere else, but I just saw her name pop up from Love It. No problem. Talk to you later. All right. Any questions over here on TikTok? We are at about 33 minutes. Y'all know these are as informative and as helpful as you guys ask questions. So if you guys don't ask questions, it'll be a very short session. It can be a very boring session if you guys don't ask questions. This is not necessarily a live teaching. I'm not going to where I'm teaching you how to do something specifically. That's reserved for classes now. But I will help you out if you are asking the questions, okay? You just sent me a message. I don't see it just yet, but I don't know. On my computer, my messenger hasn't been like the greatest. So I will check it on my phone when I'm done. Oh, let's see. Oh, she was commenting on my DTF post. Let's go back over here. Hello, how are you? What are you teaching today? I am teaching on whatever you are asking about. This is our weekly Q&A session. Can you do a sublimation print from a 30-ounce skinny tumbler from a small format printer? As one whole print? No, you cannot. You will have to split that in half, which means you are going to have 2 seam lines on that 30-ounce tumbler. So you can do it, but you're going to have to split your print. Is there a particular version of Photoshop that is needed to design? There is only one version of Well, actually, I cannot say that now because now Photoshop has the AI generator. Oh, this whole AI thing is really getting out of hand, if you ask me. I personally don't care for the fact that AI is in Photoshop, because that is where people go to design. And like I watch this lady on TikTok. Is it on TikTok, or she has like regular reels on Facebook and Instagram? But one of those. And she'll take pictures of her kids and she spends hours. So she'll have like 15, 20 hours. Like one of them is like, because it was deleted, she spent like 60 hours like editing and adding things and drawing in hair. Like I get it where some people are like, well, that's going to save me time. But it's just something about, if you're going to do that in Photoshop, or you're going to use Photoshop to that magnitude, going in there and actually using Photoshop. I am not a big fan of this whole AI when it comes to Photoshop, but there's only one. Now, when you go to the website, the differences in the prices is that there's like, it's the Creative Cloud. How much space you have on the Creative Cloud. That's the only difference in the cost. And then if you have like the whole suite and things like that, but that's the only difference in the prices that you see online. Let's see. Love it having used the Photoshop version. I don't like AI. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of AI. The taping is the only thing I struggle with. Will using wider heat tape help on the seams? So for seams, I actually prefer painter's tape instead of heat tape. People used to use horses to travel all the time. Now we have cars. I don't think that's the same. It's not quite the same. What's the best plan to start with? So for me, I use the Creative Cloud, but not a whole lot, right? So I don't need to have a lot of Creative Cloud storage space, because I have a 1 terabyte hard drive. I have a 4 terabyte cloud drive. I also have I think it's either 16 or 12 terabyte, another WD, my cloud. And then I also have like Google Drive. So I have a lot of areas to be able to store things at. So I don't necessarily need the Creative Cloud. The Creative Cloud actually gets on my nerves. I'm going to tell you why. Saving to the Creative Cloud grinds my gears. If I'm designing something in Photoshop, and let's say I want to have two different versions of it, if I went and I saved it and it was automatically saved, like let's say when I saved it, it was saved to the Creative Cloud, as I'm making changes to it, it is going to automatically change that file. And that drives me crazy because my intentions might be to save it as a different file. But I no longer have the original because it is continuously overwriting. And that, like, if you go like to the little home and it brings up all this stuff, it is continuously overwriting there. So it drives me crazy. So I'm not like, there are certain things like my one for like my thumbnails. I like that's like ease of access. I don't have to go look for it on my computer. But a lot of the designs I don't like Creative Cloud. When I'm doing obituaries, I cannot stand it being saved to the Creative Cloud. But that's like, so for me, if I tell people they just want to just kind of try it out, they have one that's $9.99 a month. Oh, not, I keep saying $9. I think it's $19.99. $19.99. And it's under photography plan. And it's either $9.99 or $19.99, one of those. And it's just like, I want to say it's like 500 megs of storage versus like the 1 terabyte, something like that. But yeah, either $9.99, $19.99, that works fine. The Photoshop is the same. Let's see. I hate that little watch update that keeps popping up on my phone. Okay. I'm going to talk about the summer camp. Give me a moment. I already talked about the photo. Both y'all had the same question over here and over there. I asked about the crown last week in a group. Can you show me how you would have done it? I did adjust it using the advice, but wanted to make sure it's the most effective. What crown? Oh, what you did was correct. Yeah, it's just the edit points. I mean, I think you went up a little bit too high, but yeah, that's it. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. Yeah, that is the most effective way. Yeah, I remember as soon as I thought about it, I remember what it was. What's the best way to get a good resolution of a project, save for a backdrop that is 8x8? If you save as a PNG or a JPEG, maybe I should just let you answer the question, huh? I'm not sure what you mean by the last part. But I don't save PNGs and JPEGs from Silhouette Studio. I mean, it's not that it's bad, but one, it's not really made to handle a lot of heavy graphics like that. So I personally just don't save, like for anything that's I'm really going to print with or for a banner and things like that. I don't save them as a JPEG or a PNG from Silhouette Studio. I save them as a PDF. And then I'm going to take that PDF and I'm going to open it up in Photoshop and then I'm going to save it from there. It's just a better quality because that PDF is going to come in at 300 anyway. And then I'm going to have my Photoshop. And actually for banners, I actually don't use 300. I actually use in either 400 or 500 as far as the resolution, just to make sure that we have nice, clean edges. So I actually up my resolution for that. I don't understand why 300 is this golden number where all the DTF people, I'm like, y'all do know your resolution goes above that. Like, why is 300 the magic number? And then if you take my Photoshop class, I break it down to where if it's 11x17 and you are setting it up for the exact size and you're doing all the things, saving it at 100 DPI, if it's saved to the size, it doesn't necessarily, especially if you're designing it in the software, it doesn't distort it. But it affects it if you're trying to then blow it up and now you're trying to stretch that that design across only 100 pixels versus 300, and now it's like smaller jumps. So that's the only thing. Like 300 pixels, just make the pixels are there. It's just that now the pixels are closer together versus them being far apart. But that's how I do for banners, and I actually design in a smaller size. So I design in 4x4 but my design page is going to be set to 400 or 500, and because it just makes a smaller file size. And then when they go in their system and all they have to do is now multiply it or make it that size, it comes out perfectly. All right, so let's go back and forth. I like the fact that you are so knowledgeable in your craft. I've learned from you. Yay. Let's see. So yeah, I mean, but even if I'm making like, so yeah, you have to save it first. But if you're not thinking about, like, I just hate the fact that it overrides it. Like if I saved it, I can like go, like, let's say I saved one and it was done on Monday and I made the title draft 1 and I made some other changes. I can go in and go file, save as, save it to my computer and go draft 2. And I will have draft 1 and draft 2. But if it's in the cloud, the minute I start making changes, it's a wrap. Hi. Okay, how do you store things in your external drive instead of on your computer? I'm not sure what you mean by how do I store it there. I'm not sure what that means, because you just save it the same way. So I just, like, because it's on the computer, the drive exists there. So I'm going to save the same way you will see your C drive. If you put a USB drive, you're going to see that there. It just comes up because it's on the same Wi-Fi network. And when I want to go save it, I'm going save to hard drive. Saving to hard drive just means that you're going to access all storage devices that are connected to your computer. So once I go save to hard drive, I can choose to save it to my Google Drive, my WD, my cloud. My old school one allows you to map different ones. So on that one, I have like one for the customs business. I have one for like just our business in general, like all of the business things, tax things, receipts and stuff go there. I have one that's for the academy. I have like different, I have it broken down like that. And so I'll just choose which one I need it to go to, and that's segmented. Our 12 terabyte, I'm not sure it's 12 or 16, that one, there is really no mapping to it, but you can set up different folders, and then I can create a shortcut directly to that folder. So when I want to save it to that, I just click on it and go to that shortcut and just save it, and it automatically saves. So I use an external cloud, not an external drive. I've lost so much content and so much stuff on an external hard drive. So we use a WD, Western Digital My Cloud. Now it's called My Cloud Home, I think it is. So it's a little bit different, but we have both generations of it. But that's what I use. And I also pay for Google Dropbox. If you have a lot of files, do understand that it is going to take a while. We were trying to back up our backup and it took like hours and hours and hours. So you have to think about how many years of things you have saved on there. So please be prepared for it to take a long time for it to transfer. So it is $9.99, the basic one. Okay, I knew it was somewhere in there. So then what do you save it as from Photoshop? A PNG, well, if it's a was your question about the backdrop? So as a backdrop, a JPEG, because I don't need any transparent areas to it. It's going to be solid. So that is when you save something as a JPEG, if you don't need any transparency to it. Yes, I agree about the Photoshop Creative Cloud. The only thing I like about it is that it will save my file if Photoshop crashes. But even if it's not even if it crashes, because you do still have the auto recover. So that does still come up. Like if it crashes, I end up getting the auto recovered one. But yeah, as far as like, man, obituaries, it's annoying. What class do you recommend after the 30-day challenge? It depends on what it is that you're trying to do. At that point, you want to now hone in on what it is that you want to learn next. So if you're trying to if you just kind of want a glimpse at like all types of designing, the crash course, because we went through like text designs, things for like banners, if it's pictures, understanding depth, recreating from, you know, inspiration and templates like from other designs. So the crash course would be a good one. It's like if you want to focus specifically on creating SVGs, then the SVG 10-day, 5-day, 10-day, one of those challenges. If you're someone that wants to do party favors, then we have the party favor, because then we go into design, understanding designs and understanding how to get your main elements, design whatever your biggest file is, like your biggest size. And then now you have all those elements, and then now you can figure out how to shrink it down and resize them and reposition them. So that's great. Even if you're not into doing chip bags, water bottle labels, things like that, understanding how design works and how to take it from one template to another, it's a great learning experience in that. You know, some people wanted to know, even like it's still within the party thing, they wanted to know about taking the head off of one image and like putting it on like a cartoon body, a superhero body. So that's always a good one. The switch up is also great. Just really depends on what it is that you're trying to learn. All right, so someone asked up here, where is it? Let me actually pull this up real quick about the summer camp. Well, summer school. It's not camp, it's summer school. Big difference. My kids going at camp right now. They're having fun. They aren't really learning anything. We go to summer school to just learn some things, okay? All right, let's go ahead and present screen, share the screen, entire screen, screen 2. Okay, so summer school, the Creative Business Summer School will run from June 26th through July 28th. It is 5 weeks. It is currently slated. Depending on how many students we get, it may change. But it is currently slated for 3 days a week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. I said that right? Yeah. Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays is what is currently slated for. Because I have something else planned for those who may not want to do that, or it's like too much of a commit, like too much of a financial commitment. We have some things that we're going to do on Mondays and Thursdays, like alternating throughout the weeks and stuff like that. Kind of like design with me's and just learning different design things. Kind of like workshops. They're more like workshops. So Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays are the days for the summer school. It is in the middle of the day. Again, that's another one that can be kind of like, we might be able to change it. My struggle is the fact that I'm on the East Coast. Like some people that teach, they're kind of in that like middle zone. So it kind of can go both ways. Like you're not too far off from the West Coast and like the East Coast. I'm on the East Coast. So I understand for those of you who are on the West Coast, if I do a class, do a session at 12 o'clock, it's kind of early for you. It's not quite your lunchtime, but it's actually going to be because of the Wednesday one. And I normally do my live video between 11 and 12, my general live video. That class on Wednesdays will be at 1. So it's kind of a lunchtime live for East and West Coast. East and Central. Now, Mountain and Pacific, might not quite be your lunchtime, but that is what the time frame that works best for my schedule. Because if not, then I'm working overtime because I'm at work at 9 o'clock. Well, here, once we go drop off the kids, but I'm up as of like 7 in the morning. So to be up that many hours on your job, we wouldn't, work overtime and not get paid overtime hours. And I like my family. I think I like them. So I don't think I want to, be away every evening and can't be there for dinner and can't be there for bedtime. And because it's 3 nights a week, I won't be able to do them in the evening. Now, Fridays is kind of like our field trip day, and that is the day where we will be doing like projects. Like whether it's like learning to cut foam board or learning to put certain things together. So those will be those days. And I am trying to work it out with my husband that I can do that one on the like closer to the evening time, but that's like heading into the weekend and it's family time. It's the summer. So as of right now, it is tentatively set for 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which again, depending on participation and how people sign up, is subjected to change. And the cost up until the day of is $336.50 if you are doing a one-time payment. If you are doing buy now, pay later, like, of course, Sezzle, or if you're going to do Shop Pay, buy now, pay later, it is $363.50. On the WD website, which one do you recommend? Does it also need to be synced to the desktop? Well, yeah, of course, it has to be synced to your whatever computers you use. It has to be synced to that because that's how you're going to use it. I have not been to the WD My Cloud website, WD website. I got mine from Best Buy, and it's just about what storage you need. That's the only difference in it is what storage do you need. I do a lot of videos, so I need a lot of storage. Sorry, y'all. I saw that question, so I answered that one. So buy now, pay later is if you're going to use Shop Pay or if you're going to use Sezzle, you do the buy now, pay later because they charge us way more than the regular processing fees of PayPal or credit cards. All right. So that's the buy now, pay later, or you're going to choose one time. If you use Sezzle, but you are on the one-time payment, we will refund you and remove you from the training. We will give you an opportunity to pay the difference. And if you don't, we will remove you from the training. Ooh. I'm sorry. I got something in my eye. The sync function will be discontinued this month for desktops. I don't know. I have to look and see what you're referring to when it comes to that. So what all will the summer school include? It will include it's summer school, kind of like a summer camp base though, in that it's a lot of different things, right? So like my kids are in summer school and each day they're doing a different task. Like they have movie days, they have certain days for games, they have people that come in and do like they paint pottery, they do painting, they do different things. And my goal in this is to get you started, get you further along than where you are in just understanding this creative business as a whole. Some of the days will be talking about business. Some of it will be, hey, let's sit down and have a real conversation. Kind of like this when we still have Q&A and you guys can ask questions if you're concerned about like marketing, if your marketing isn't working, the things that are frustrating you, you're trying to figure out time management and things like that. We're going to have these sessions. We're going to talk a little bit about pricing. It's not going to be as detailed as my pricing for a profit, but I'm going to get you started. I'm going to show you examples of, depending on how you are buying your material. If you are someone that is still buying sheets of HTV compared to somebody who's buying a whole roll of HTV. If you are somebody that's buying shirts individually versus somebody who is buying shirts by the case, the price point on that is going to be different. So sometimes we're asking, well, how can they sell it for that much? It cost me this, that, and the third. Well, maybe their whole thing is they're buying in bulk because they're selling and they know their business, they're buying in bulk. I just purchased 6 freaking cases of tumblers, although it would have been the same price no matter what if I purchased 1 or 6 cases with that particular company. But with purchasing so many, my shipping was free. I didn't have to pay for that. By buying more, I was able to save. If I only needed 1 case, the amount that I would have paid for shipping for that one, I might as well have brought 2. And I think maybe after, I'm not sure if after 2 or after 3 cases, then it would have been free. But yeah, 1 case, I would have had to pay shipping anyway. So I might as well use that. So it's just a mindset thing. we're going to talk about this. Like I said, we're going to have some business things. We're going to have some design and designing and looking at designs from of course, my program of choice, Select Studio, some Photoshop, some Canva, showing the differences in it. We're going to talk about DTF because that's a hot thing right now. There are some things that are pros and cons to it. One of the major ones is, I see people talk about gang sheets all the time. I love her, but I see like, what's her name? Oh gosh, can't think of her name right now. But like she'll post a picture and it's like she was standing, I think, on a couch or a chair, and it was like this long thing of DTF prints. Harpo, who finna cut that down? That's a lot of work, especially when like people, their mindset is with DTF is to do a gang sheet and just fill in every nook and cranny. But that's a pain in the ASS when it comes to cutting it down. So now it's having real conversations and real eye openers. And is it worth it to try and cram everything in there if it's going to make it to where you're going to spend more time cutting? Now, if you don't have a lot going on to you, that's going to seem like nothing. Oh, whatever, I can sit here and I can do it. I can just take the time to cut it down. But if you have a whole bunch of them, you have this long big gang sheet, like I've seen some of them people print and then send off to their customers. If that's like to make sure that you're not going to cut it because you didn't give yourself enough room, if you end up spending 30, 45 minutes to an hour cutting that, do you know what other valuable things you could have been doing in your business versus trying to tediously cut around DTF? So it's about mindset. So we're going to have some mindset days and some business days, some design days, and some actual projects during this. You are going to be set up to where you will have the ability to make more profit coming out of that than you did, when you first came in, because you're going to understand how to work more effectively and efficiently in your business. So none of there's no enrollment to where you're in the academy and you get access to like every class that comes out. Now, if depending on how many classes you have taken, it can be a combination of them, and you may not need it, especially if you've taken a lot of different classes. Are you applying those things? As much as I would like your money, if you are applying anything, most of the stuff that like in class that you already have, don't jump on this one as if it's gonna, just be different, unless it is just that you want to be able to attend live. Like maybe all the other classes you've taken, you're looking at the playbacks and we're just not quite as disciplined to just go back and watch the playbacks versus, okay, I know I have to be in this class at this particular time. That's a little bit different. But a lot of the stuff is things that we've talked about. Like I said, if you've done the crash course, it's going to be some of the same things in there. If you've done the SVG course, some of the same things are going to be taught in there. It's all the same. It's now just giving people an opportunity where it's really a lot of those key classes that I've done kind of like in one nice little package for 5 weeks. Let me see what you're referring to about the sync. WD. And it might be the old version that you were referring to. WD My Cloud Home. All right, so was it... All right, let's see. Where did you see something about desktop syncing being, what did you say? It's going to discontinue this month. Where did you see that at, and which one were you on? Because normally they send out emails and I hadn't heard anything about that. So unless you clicked on the, Okay, I'm on when I Googled WD. So this wasn't something on the site. You just Googled WD My Cloud and it said that. So they may have been talking about just the My Cloud, but and then they had an issue last month. They had an issue last month and you could not sync it like through the internet. You had to hardwire it in, and that's the only way you can access it. But yeah. So you just put in WD and then did you put in WD My Cloud? Did you just put in WD? Yeah, I'm not sure what's referring. Is Western Digital desktop sync functionality for My Cloud will no longer be available as of June 2023. However, there will be third-party applications which may achieve similar functionality when you enable local access network. So let me see. Okay. All right, I'm gonna actually I didn't mean to pull this over here. I'm gonna keep this up. I can't even see it over there. And I'm gonna see. Oh, it's saying the remote access. That's the only thing I can see from this. Like, so our WD My Cloud home is not here at the office. It's at our house, but I can still access it. So I'm guessing they're saying that we won't be able to access it because they're taking away the discovery software. So I won't be able to access the one that's at home because I'm not directly on that network. Yeah. WD Discovery will no longer support My Cloud home devices. There will also no longer be any new releases or security updates. We will discontinue all development, including critical security updates and technical support. A new version of operating systems, as new versions of operating systems are released, these features might stop working and will not be fixed. Oh, wow. WD Discovery will continue to function and be supported for other compatible WD storage products. If you already have the WD Discovery installed, you will no longer be able to mount your WD My Cloud home device as a local drive. However, users can use local network access. So local network access for more information. Yeah. So to me, that's how I read it. I cannot set it as just a drive. I can still do network access, which is what we do with the one that's here. Users can still access their content remotely using so you can still access your content remotely using the My Cloud Home web app, but that just means that normally when I go through the app, I have to download it to that computer. So I still can see the files, but it's not like a seamless kind of like save. And whenever I go there, I have to download it. That's kind of how I still have access to it no matter where I'm at. I just have to download it. And that appears to be what they're still saying here. We also added SMB local network access. Okay, since the firmware, will I lose any data? WD Discovery provides access to your content on a My Cloud home device. When WD Discovery is uninstalled, the original files will not be deleted. You can access your files as described below under how does this affect me? Yeah, so it still works. Okay, so hello there. I design in Corel. I'm not friends with Photoshop. Well, you cannot compare the two. Corel Draw is a vector-based software. It is equivalent to Illustrator. Photoshop and those are not the same. So if you prefer to design more in a vector-based format, and how you can do certain things. Like if you are big into like 3D, that's like better in the vector space than it is in Photoshop, because how you'd have to do it for Photoshop and then kind of like making duplicates and then like moving them and shifting them and doing certain things and then merging that layer, like merging all those layers. Like it's more steps, where there are things that are kind of like it's a standard feature and a standard tool in vector-based programs. So programs like Adobe Illustrator, Corel Draw, Affinity Designer, Silhouette Studio, Inkscape, those are all vector-based. Programs such as Photoshop, Affinity Photo, Procreate, PixArt, those are raster-based or bitmap, or some people just say, you're working with pixels, things like that. So those are two different types of software, so they don't compare. Like they're not the same at all. There's going to be things that you can do in Corel that you can't do in Photoshop, and things you can do in Photoshop that you won't be able to do in Corel Draw. I'm a lover of all programs except Affinity. I just can't with Affinity. So I do have Corel Draw. I have Illustrator. I have Photoshop. Of course, I use Silhouette. I'm trying to get into, touching my husband's iPad and using Procreate, but I ain't quite there yet because I'm a Galaxy girl all day, every day. I'm a Samsung girl. All right. Any other questions? We are at 1 hour and 9 minutes. Any other questions? The cost of the summer school, like I said, it does go up. All right. By the time we get to the 26th, it will not be that price. It's actually going to go up from this price. I forgot. I had to look at my schedule, but it goes up from this one. Y'all know whenever I drop anything, the first drop of it is the lowest price that you will be able to get it at, and then it goes up from there. By the time we get to the 26th, yes, it will be significantly higher. But if you apply the learnings and the teachings that you will get in the summer school, you will make that back 1,000 times over. I forgot I had this and I forgot to bring it up. So not sure if she is still on, but we're going to go back over here and you guys will get to see a little bit of, because I felt like we didn't go to Silhouette Studio at all. So I have to do something over here. It's like days when I am like ready and prepared to do Silhouette. You guys don't ask any Silhouette questions, and y'all know that's what I love to teach. So I think the only real Silhouette question we had was because you wanted to like have the number, like, or a crown sit on top of a letter or a number or whatever it is. So we're going to go over here to trace. And we're going to do a trace and detach on this. And So there is a front and a back to this. So I'm just going to take my edit point and bring it to the front. And I'm going to shrink it down. I'm just going to move it to where it would sit here. Okay, so I need to remove some of this area over here. So we're just going to make this flat. Still need to move it up a little bit. And that's it. He is fine. Well, he's at camp, so I can't really say how he's doing. I'm going to say he's fine. But he was okay when he went into camp. But he's at camp, so I don't know. What about Monday and Thursday? What about those? You are so knowledgeable in all programs, blows my mind. Well, I'm knowledgeable because of years and years and years of doing this. So when I started out, Barbara Goldman taught me Adobe. So we learned Photoshop and Illustrator. As a struggling airman, when Photoshop was not Creative Cloud and it wasn't monthly based or like paying by the year, and you had to pay out a whole lot just to buy Photoshop outright. LimeWire was my friend, and I got Corel Draw for way less than getting Photoshop. So I learned Corel Draw. And then once I no longer had Corel Draw, by then Photoshop had the whole Creative Cloud thing. So I did that and I worked back in Photoshop and Illustrator. And then eventually 9 years ago, I was introduced to Silhouette Studio. So it's been years and years and years of learning those softwares. As tentatively as of right now, they are afternoon sessions. So they are scheduled for 1, only because Wednesdays I go live between 11 and 12. So the class is set for 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It will vary depending on what the workshop is. They will vary depending on the workshop. Edit points are my fave because I like the pen tool. So yes, he I don't ever say like lose a tooth because it's not like he loses it, but yes, he has his first missing tooth. He got his first tooth to fall out this morning. There we go. We had to help it a little bit, but yes, he lost his first tooth today. But the other one was already growing in, so it's there. It's like, there's going to be like, of course, the little hole where his baby tooth was, but the big boy tooth was already growing in. So it's not like just an open gap for him. It just has to that one in the back to move forward. All right, so if there are no other business-related questions or Silhouette-related questions, we're going to go ahead and close out. Uh-oh. Here we go. You just got to keep practicing it. Find some random stuff. Do not again, biggest piece of advice, do not wait until you have an order. Go online today, find something, trace it out with edit points, or remove something with edit points. Create your own shapes with edit points, but you cannot wait until you need to use them, because you don't know them, you are going to be frustrated when you go to use them. So how I got great at these programs is I would just go in. If I had free time, I wasn't doing, I wasn't really a big partier anyway. So if I had free time, that was what I loved to do, was just figure these things out. So I made time for it. I didn't have orders when I was in the military like that. Like, I'm in Korea, if I'm in Germany, I didn't have like a bunch of orders and things like that to work on, or always work on events. I would literally just pull my laptop out, and you have to have a mouse. Get yourself a mouse. Do yourself a favor when it comes to graphic design. If you don't have a drawing tablet, definitely get yourself a mouse. And I would just have at it. And that's how I got to the level that I am at, because I just worked the software. So it's not the same, like it's totally different. Now, the bachelor's program, we met every single week for over a year and a half. And we did different projects. We worked on understanding edit points, and we did designing, and we did a lot of different things in bachelor's. There's a lot of learning in there. If you wanted to, like, you can literally go back through those trainings and redo some of those things, take notes from it. And you'll get a lot of what's in here. But there are some people who haven't taken a bachelor's or master's. They haven't been with me for a year. They haven't taken my creative business course. They haven't taken the doctorate program. They were not in profit by the numbers. They were in my tracing class. So it's not really replacing it, because come the fall, I'm going to have another bachelor's and doctorate program. It's going to be totally different as far as the setup, and they're not going to run a whole year. It's going to be a much shorter time frame, but it's going to be those weekly sessions, like every week, like clockwork. We are meeting. How in bachelor's we met every Wednesday, but this is not that. This is a summer program. It's kind of like, I guess you could say, like accelerated, because it's going to be so many different things over the course of 5 weeks. From business to designing. Bachelor's was just about designing. We didn't talk business at all in the bachelor sessions. The master sessions were going past just learning what this tool does. Like, we were putting together different designs. We were making our own puzzle pieces. We were doing banners and stuff. We were doing, what else did we do in masters? We created a back to school flyer. We did our own word art. Like, those are the things that we did in master, where we were really working on designing. And bachelor's was like learning those things and doing like simple traces. When we did the one with the he or she, what will it be? And we are making those boxes, and we're using the edit points, and I'm actually breaking it down, explaining every single part. We were able to do that because it was for a year, and for you to fully understand the programs. This is just 5 weeks, and it's going to be a little bit of this, a little bit of that within those 5 weeks to get you kind of started, or push you further along in your creative journey. Which of my Silhouette classes should you start with? 30 days. Essentials to Silhouette Studio. Learn Silhouette Studio in 30 days. It's not about the it's not about the machine. It is about the software. That is the most important part. When it comes to the machine, it's either going to cut or it's not. Like, it's either going to cut or it's not. That's it. So the designing it is the most important part. So starting with the 30-day, and then from there, how deep do you want to get into designing? Then you would choose another class based off of that. Ooh, for which group? Because when did you do it? Because I'm like, I looked at it. Normally I always see it. So unless you just did not put the code there, because normally I've looked at it. I didn't see anything like really, really pending, but my team normally does that for the student union. And if it's on the 30-day one, I'm actually trying to figure out how to archive that one, because So that's why I put it on there for everyone to join the student union. Potential spam. Yeah, I have no new members requests for the student union. Professor, I want to do t-shirts and other blanks with something other than sublimation. What would you choose? If you want to do t-shirts and other blanks with something other than sublimation, what would you choose? So I mean, there's a lot of different options. One of the newer ones I see people are using is the UV DTF. It does leave you can see like the clear film around it, but that's not something that's like unusual, because if you go into stores, you see that. There are some people who do full on UV, and you're going to, you have to have like a turner for like cups and things like that. If it's something that's flat, you can use UV printing for it. Those machines are really expensive. Sublimation is a really great, inexpensive option to decorate or to customize a lot of things. Anything outside of that, unless you are going to do what is still inexpensive, but it can be time consuming, it's using adhesive vinyl. But then with adhesive vinyl, you are limited to not having super thin lines, because you're not going to have enough adhesive there to really grip, like to stay onto the substrate, unless you're going to encapsulate it in epoxy. And then if it's like a cup, then you have to have a turner so that it doesn't settle it. So there's there's a lot of different things. I personally don't do epoxy. UV would be nice, but those machines are very, very expensive. They're not even the expense of it, because it would be in our business plan, do all that kind of stuff, but I just can't justify the space for it. You have eco solvent printing, where if you want to have a full color design, I'm able to print it out and cut it onto adhesive vinyl, and I'm going to put that on a mug or a tumbler. They have the tumbler wraps for it. They have the Libby cup wraps for it. You, again, cannot do that with a converted printer. For adhesive vinyl, you have to use an actual solvent, eco solvent, or latex printer. There's a lot of different methods. A lot of methods, whether it's for shirts, if it's for hard substrates. One of the things that I want to use for hard substrates is a white toner printer. And there's a special paper you have to have. Like, you can't use the same one for shirts that you use for hard substrate. There's a hard substrate paper. So there's a lot. I really think sublimation is the one to where I can take this paper and I can put it on a hard substrate. I can put it on fabric. Other methods, it requires additional things. DTF, there's DTF, UV DTF, but it's not the same setup as this DTF. White toner, you got to have different papers for white toner. For the laser printing, whether you have like a Glowforge, that's not really color. It's like going to be, a solid, unless you have like the rub and buff type stuff. But then you have UV print, like it. The list goes on. Dun, 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 dun. Good afternoon. Just got here. What's going on? This is our weekly creative business chat. So it's all Q&A based. So it is a code. It is in the it's in the course. There's one that says student union, and there's one that says 30-day training, which I'm going to remove that one because I'm going to archive 30-day one, because like everything can just kind of filter through the what's the thing called? Student union. But it's there. You guys just have to make sure, like someone said, oh, I don't even see 2 classes. That means you did not read the welcome. Everything is outlined there for you. I want to see you walk through how you have the person step over the word. I know it's similar to what you just did with the crown. However, I know it's too much to do on a Wednesday live. Stuff like that, you either have to find the video. I probably wouldn't do that one in these, because I have those in actual classes. So I would recommend that you take the class, or you find, I think there's like a really old video where it's there. But yeah, it had to be either you're in a class or you ask that question, so where I can show it in quick video and to reinforce it in the student union, but you got to be registered in at least 30-day training, because we do go over that in the 30-day training. Is the face switch up class in Photoshop or Silhouette? It is in Silhouette Studio. The only things that are Photoshop are the ones that say like the Photoshop for image editing and things like that. Actually, I'm trying to think, did I show a little bit of Photoshop in that one? I mean, it's basically the same. You have to isolate the face. So in Silhouette Studio, it's edit points. In Photoshop, although you can brush certain things away, you're not going to get a nice clean line on it. So you're going to have to use your pen tool. Or you could use like the magic wand and kind of have it go to the edge and do it that way, and then do the layer mask. And then you're just going to literally resize it, put it on top. What is the most important part to take away from the face switch, face off, is understanding the images that you are using. They don't work for everything. Like if someone has their face is more of a profile, you are going to have to choose a certain body. How big do you make that, the kid's head to make it look proportional on the particular, like on that character? Because are they standing straight up? Is it where their top half is coming forward and their legs seem kind of back? Is it reversed? So that's the most important part to take away from that, is not just paying attention to removing the head and putting it there. It's taking those notes to know, like if your client sends you a picture and it's their baby, the only one, like they just like their smile in it, but they're turned like this, and it's a full front like character, it's not going to line up. It's going to look crazy. It's going to look like you just took that and just slapped it there, and their body's facing forward and their head is going to be like this, but you can see a slight smile. So that is what is great. Like that's the most essential part of the face-off, is understanding which type of pictures goes with what. The other thing in it is hair, right? I talk about that in that. It's not as bad for boy pictures unless like they just have really long hair, or if they have like braids and stuff. But like, let's say if they had braids and in the picture, their braids didn't go straight back to where you can still see them, but you have the ears and you have a nice cut. You can make a nice cut on the face. If the picture was they had braids and they were coming forward, you have to then again be mindful of what type of picture you're going to put it on and how you're going to cut it out, because you're going to need to really be strategic in having those braids show on the front of that character. If it's someone that has like most, I guess, young kids, like they had like long hair, right? And it's just like everywhere, trying to really cut around that to have the hair, because you're not going in and redrawing hair. It's going to look like a solid cut of hair when hair doesn't flow that way. That's where your Photoshop comes in, but you need a brush. So you'll have to purchase a brush that has different, they have fur brushes. They have ones that's for hair, like in Procreate, they have those different brushes. So let's say if you had to cut the hair off to make it look more natural, you're going to go in and you're going to draw in like the hair to make it smoother and make it like more flowy, so it doesn't look static. But that's, trust me, the things that you will learn about designing. I teach design. Like I truly teach designing. When I download bundles from Creative Fabrica, how can I not download all of it to my computer? There is no way. If it's something that is in a zip folder, the moment you unzip that, all of that is downloaded to your computer. Do I need the paid version of Silhouette for the class? If not, do you recommend the paid? Oh, of course. I mean, there's tools and functions that you unlock with the paid version. Make sure you click the link in my bio, go to my Linktree, click on that to purchase it. For the most part, you don't need it. Everything that I teach in there can be done in the free version. There are some things, and when I get to those things, I say, well, you're going to need designer edition or business edition for this. Like if I am using my center of rotation to anchor something and rotate it so that it fits better, you do need designer edition or business edition for that. But image effects is available in the free version, so you can literally change the colors. When we did the Hulk, we changed the color. We did the Spider-Man, we changed their face to red. You can do that in Select Studio with the free version. Edit points, free version. Cropping, subtracting, free version. Tracing, free version. I just want to be able to offer something other than polyester shirts for my shirt jobs. DTF seems kind of toxic to produce in home. But why do you have to produce it in home? Is it that you haven't found anyone that's local to you? Do you find yourself that you're doing a lot of last minute jobs to where you can't wait, maybe a day or two to get DTF prints? Because like my prints, I can put it in and I can have it basically within, sometimes it's like almost seem like the next day, but like within 2 days, I can go and pick it up from Florida Flex. It's not toxic at all to do it at home. The reason why, it's a powder, right? And so just like with anything, if you have baby powder, they'll tell you that that's toxic and because you're breathing it in. So once you go, when you're squeezing that or whatever, or like the powder is coming out and like the dust from it, if you're breathing it in, they'll tell you, hey, that's bad. But you can't really stop that when it comes to baby powders. So it's like, okay. So some people, when it comes to shaking or putting it on there, some people will put that, put their mask on to avoid breathing it in. When it comes to the curing process, it's on heat and it requires a high heat. Now, some people put it underneath their heat press. There's not a lot of danger in that, but with the ones that are on the machines, it's filtered out because that is high heat. So it is a heating, like a full on, like darn near open heating element. I remember when the one company, they opened up the heating element, like they opened up the front and you can like literally see all of the red coils, and that's normally going a lot. So you don't want to breathe and just it being heated up the entire day. So they have it where you will filter it out. You can buy a filter. So that makes it very safe. To make it safer for you, you will have to get the filter. There are some people that just have a large room as well ventilated, or they'll keep their windows and things open so that they're just not sitting in that all, for however long you have it on. But there are ways where it's fully safe. If you can do it at an office or whatever, it's fully safe at home as well. You just have to pay the money for the extra filter, and that's it. That's just like when it comes to like your Glowforge. There's one to where they'll tell you to ventilate it outside. It's just, that's a laser, and that constant that's hot. It's a laser. It's cutting through. So you want to filter that out to where you're not just constantly breathing that in. Or they have like the at-home filter that it can go in, from there. Also with the laser one, with it creating all of that soot and things like that, and it's burning, and you seeing that smoke come up. You don't want to constantly be breathing that in and breathing that in. So that's what those filters are for. But it's definitely safe at home. Like I said, I do DTF. I don't print at home. Don't desire at this current juncture to print at home. I'm going to order some DTF prints all day, every day, if need be. EcoSolvent, they all have different pros and cons, advantages and disadvantages. When it comes to EcoSolvent prints, you still have to weed. So some people went to Sublimation because they didn't want to weed, but then they go to EcoSolvent where you're back weeding. Yes, you're going to get up a full color. No, you don't have to weed out like 4 or 5 different colors of vinyl if it's like multiple colors on top of each other. But if your design is still split, let's say, even this. If I did this on EcoSolvent, guess what? I still got to weed out around here. I have to carefully weed in between all of these like leaves and stuff. I have to weed out the center of the O, the R. So I wouldn't like with, well, this is fully colored in, but like if this was, let's just say a solid like color and then the brown outline with regular HTV, you would have to weed both the gold and the brown. Where this one, it just printed, so you're just weeding once versus weeding twice. But something like this, where it's printed and it's all loose, these are two different colors. You would have still had the way that you would weed this out would be the same if you did eco solvent prints or if you did HTV or if you did adhesive vinyl. You're gonna have to weed out all around the leaves. You're gonna have to weed all around the trunk, and you're going to have to put them down. And then with eco solvent, because you can pick it up as one, you're able to do it as one press versus, okay, I got to pick this color up, put it down, press it for 3 seconds, take that off, line the other one up, press that for 3 seconds, take that off, line the next part off. So that's like, it will eliminate steps doing this as an eco solvent print, but it's not like it really cuts down a lot of weeding depending on what your design is. So if you're trying to, if your whole thing with sublimation was to avoid weeding, going to eco solvent, solvent, or latex, you back weeding, like straight up. And if you're doing minimal weeding because it's a really big design, it's still gonna feel heavy. So yeah, every method has its pros and cons, advantages and disadvantages, which we talk about in the t-shirt business roadmap. I talk about 12 different methods to do apparel. I had a few last minute large orders. When you say last minute, is it like same day, 2 days? Because if you order from places like 613 Originals and Stalls Transfer Express, they ship out the next day. There's no minimum, and they literally ship out the next day. And they have, I know, 613 Original, they have one place that ships out of Florida. And I forget where the other place is. Like, I think they still ship from Jersey, I think, too. I don't think they have an option on the West Coast just yet. But Stalls, like, they are also another one where you place the order, it can literally be shipped out the very next day. And that's just on you. And then it's like, you know, you charging that to your customers. If you want to have it get to you like next day, you should already be charging a rush fee anyway. If they're that last minute, they're going to have to pay for the rush shipping on it to get it next day. And you just build that into your cost. We have to learn to stop taking on financial burdens when people come to you last minute. Which option has the most to offer with the upgrade business? So business edition is the highest version of the upgrade. So it literally has everything that's in all the, it goes designer, designer plus, which is a waste of time, and then business. So business just has everything. The majority of the upgrades are unlocked in designer, but business gives you the, like, if you don't have multiple machines, business's greatest, I guess, feature is the ability to save as an SVG, PG, or JPEG. If you have multiple machines, it's being able to cut to multiple machines at one time. I personally love the multiple undo. And then if you do a lot of tapered things, you have to have Designer Plus or Business to have the cone warp. So, but there's warping in the designer one. Awesome. Just make sure that if you have the free one and you want to go to business, you're choosing the one that's going from free to business. It should be about $50. Some people like to do the one that's like 25, but that's going from designer to business. You have to have designer as a prerequisite. So the one, like when you click on it, if it shows about $50, maybe 60, that's the one that you want. Which version do I prefer for Select Studio? If you're meaning the number, I use 4.3.370. 4.3.370. I don't have a Pro. I have all of the older machines and just a 12-inch Cameo 4. So I'm able to use that particular version. As far if you're meaning the addition, I mean, I'm always going to say, go to business. It just has everything in there. So you don't have to wonder about anything. But as far as version, that's different between addition and version, two different things. You are very welcome. Well, you can catch us here every Wednesday at going live sometime between 11 and 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when I do like the dedicated, like that's the day where I try to make sure I'm on live. Other ones are kind of like sporadic, like, oh, okay, I don't really have to do. It was pouring down raining. Let's just do a Q&A. But you can always catch us here on Wednesdays between 11 and 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when I'll hit go live. Now, like today, we're on for almost 2 hours. So it's almost 2 o'clock here, but I normally start the live between 11 and 12. If we have questions like we did today, it extends. If we don't have questions, it don't extend. So we'll be done within a short period of time. There's a business plus. No, there is designer plus. It should just be business, designer edition plus, and business edition, but there's no business plus. Not that I know of. I ain't getting no email. Let me make sure now before I go and say something, unless they don't did, which I cannot imagine them doing a business plus because they ain't first got the regular stuff. Didn't I have no business plus? Need you to fix certain things with the regular old program. Yeah, it's just designer edition plus business and then designer. Yeah, they got you laughing. I'm serious. They got some stuff to fix with the regular one. So they sure enough can't have no business plus. No, work on the base program first. And white toner is great too, but white toner is expensive. Like the papers are expensive. Depending on what size you want to print, that ranges from about 10 to 13 just for the printer itself. And then the papers are mad expensive because it's 2 parts. So yeah, it's an investment. It really is an investment if you're looking into white toner. I want white toner for hard substrates. I don't plan to really do the whole A and B for shirts. I want white toner just for hard substrates. Aw, thank you. How art thou? I just saw that. All right, y'all know for real though, this time I'm out of here. Y'all make sure that you go and check out the product line. I'm telling you, you want. Let me take this off. Hold on. I'll let you see. Come off. Like the colors. I mean, it doesn't hurt to try it. We have sample packs on the website. Those colors are everything. Everything. Okay. So definitely, guys, go check it out. If you enjoyed this, one of the best ways to just say thank you is to visit the website. Don't come over here just taking all my good information and don't support your girl. Because I'm gonna go back and see. Did y'all like this video? Because y'all really did not come through over here on TikTok with the likes. I'm telling y'all now. Today y'all didn't come through with the likes, but make sure you guys are liking the video, sharing the video. If you aren't gonna buy something, if you aren't gonna sign up for a class or anything like that, at least support the platform and share it out with some folk. Send a super chat, send some stars. Okay. Yeah, she says the paper can cost you $3 to $6 per job for small format, not large format, small format for white toner. That paper is expensive. How do we tell if the chips for pigment ink cartridges are working? You have to tell me which ones you're talking about, because the printer doesn't know what ink is in there. As I always say, you can have Kool-Aid in it, you can have Hennessy in it. It doesn't know what liquid is in there. If it is the newer one and you see an X and it says cartridge not recognized, it's time to change the chip. If it's the 252s, once it kind of goes down, you can always reset it. But the minute it says X, you don't have to change the chip, but you're just going to have to take it out, put it back in, or use like the chip resetter if taking it out and putting it back in doesn't work. But if it's the newer ones, the 812s, the moment you see an X, you have no choice but to change the chip, because that means it's not working anymore. And just make sure that you don't do the firmware update on that one. Now, this is the first time where doing the firmware update will affect your ability to use your printer with third-party cartridges. It has stopped it, which I don't understand why they did that, because they can be sued like they were last time. But some people are experiencing where none of the colors are working. Some people are experiencing where one or two colors may stop working after the firmware update. So this is one of the times where I say don't do the firmware update if you're using third-party chips. How it holds up on shirts, the same way vinyl does. It is vinyl. That's it. Like, it's vinyl. So if you've ever done a heat transfer vinyl shirt, and if you had it for years and years and years, if you ever use Caesar product, because I use Caesar's Color Print Easy, if you've ever used that kind of tells you how long it's going to last. It doesn't wash out. It's not meant to wash out. I have, what's that shirt? Jet Pro 3G with my pigment ink printer. That ink is not designed to wash out. It's water resistant. So it looks just as good today as it did 3 years ago. Same thing is going to happen when it comes to white toner. It is not meant to wash out. It is meant to, be stuck on that vinyl. The only issue you may have is you did not sit correctly. For it to lift up, it doesn't necessarily like crack, like overly crack and things like that. Unless you're going to sit there and you're going to do a whole bow and arrow situation. Most wash machines now don't aggressively agitate clothes. So you don't have to really worry about that. Your shirt will probably break down from constantly being washed before the print mess up, which is why some people they'll have an older shirt and they'll cut the print out of shirts, whether it's screen print, vinyl, or whatever. Most times your shirt breaks down before the vinyl does. Where are y'all coming from? And Tim, you've been on here for a long time. Why are you just not asking this question? You heard me say I was about to close out. What would you charge if someone asked you to print 11x17 image for sublimation? You might not, but had close person to me. Well, we offer prints. So I can't say I might not. We offer prints. Now, for us, it's a little bit different because, hey, we own the paper line. Our cost is a little bit different, but you just have to think about it. 11x17, if you're buying it from us, it is what, $30.65. So that's what, 30 cents a sheet, depending on if you had to pay shipping or not. Let's just say, that's the part that's always kind of like, like you either consider your shipping cost to just be a cost of doing business, and you're kind of like all of your orders kind of take care of that. Because let's say you're someone that ordered a case from us. The amount for that shipping compared to buying each one of those individually would be different. We don't offer free shipping, so you ain't gonna get that over here. we just don't offer free shipping. But the cost of that shipping for that whole case and how they're going to calculate it versus you paying $9 per pack. So 10 packs are in a case of 11x17. If you were to buy them individually, and it's going to cost you on average, because we do only priority mail, $9 to $10 times 10, that's a lot. Where if you brought a case, your shipping may only be like $30, $40. So that's a big difference in cost. but the sheets themselves, $30.65. So even if you say like 31 cents, now you have to decide. I mean, do you want to just double that because you're not doing any work? You're not designing it. It's just, loading it up. Did they send it to you sized perfectly and everything? And all you have to do is print it out. So you may decide that you just want to do 2 times the amount or 3 times the amount. So you might, you have to think about your overhead and things like that. So our 11 by 17 prints are, I want to say $250. I think. I want to say they're $250. Yeah. See, somebody else says $6, but you're paying higher for the paper than we are. So you can't necessarily go off of our cost for that because the paper and the ink belong to us. So it's costing us not so much, and we don't have to worry about shipping and things like that. But like you said, someone charges $6 for it. I don't think I've ever seen it that high for a print. I think I've seen like $3 or $4 somewhere in there, but there might be some people who are charging $6 for 11 by 17 print. Whatever the original one was with it, just don't ever do it. I don't remember what the number is. Just don't do it. Whatever it came with is what you should stick with. Can I install 2? Yes, you can. You can have as many printers as you want. We have on each computer in here, because it's connected to the Wi-Fi, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 printers. So yeah, $3 isn't bad. I mean, they're designing, all you're really doing is just printing it out. So sometimes things can happen where the print may mess up if you happen to have like a situation where your ink is acting dumb and things like that. So you don't want to make it to where if you have a mistake, you are now in the red. So you want to, you don't want to account for it, but it's, it's just a print. You have to also think about what it is that you're going to put it in. So if you're printing it out and they're like, I have a guy that comes to pick up his prints, and he just has like the regular print. But if you're going to put it inside of a poly mailer, you're going to put it in a box, you're going to put it in a padded envelope or the hard envelope, you have to then account for that. So at that point, it's no longer just the print. How you're going to give it to them is now also a part of that cost. So if that mailer or whatever it is, if it's a clear mailer, if you want a rigid one, if that costs you 50 cents, that is added on to the cost. If that was $1, that adds on to the cost. So it's not just about the print, unless it's going to be print and they're going to come take it in their hand. They didn't like the price of $3. Well, then they can go pay a couple $100 and go get them a Sublimation printer then. Yeah, they didn't like your price. Okay, go find get somebody else to do it. Yes, I'm still here. You are very welcome, and thank you for that compliment. All right, for real though, I'm out of here. Sign up for this. I will be back on tomorrow. Probably won't be a general Q&A. It's going to be to strictly talk about the camp. Although I might, because I don't think we're going to pick them up early from camp today. Well, shoot, I actually went very late today. I'm trying to get in some evening live session, so I might be live tonight. Maybe. No guarantees. Yeah, I am on a little bit longer today. Like, yeah. After a month off, it's hard to kind of pull away. But they actually was asking some good questions over on Facebook. TikTok, not so much, and y'all still tripping with the likes. But over here on Facebook and YouTube, the questions were questioning. So until next time, guys, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace.